Hi, this is Dr. Carolyn Harmon. Welcome to the second video in this training series. This is called Bev's Beautiful Brain. And I thank you for your comments and posts that you made about yesterday's video. And it was a real pleasure to participate in the after group there when we met around 7 o'clock. Those that you participated, it was a lot of fun for me, and I hope it was for you. That video was called How Bob the Trucker Got His Engine Running, and it was about getting more energy. So for those of you who did not see that video, make sure that you do, because there are a lot of tips there about getting energy, and who can use a lot more of that, right? You can find that video in the Features tab, which is where you look every day when you come into this group to find out what's going on in the group. All right. So today, this video is called Bev's Beautiful Brain. And by the way, let me know how you feel about that title. I was going to call it Bev's Brilliant Brain, but then I thought about that old conversation about how a man never says, did you see that beautiful brain on that babe? So I just wanted to honor the beautiful, brain of the beauty of the brain and the beauty of this particular woman's brain. So should I have called it Bev's Brilliant Brain, Bev's Beautiful Brain, Bev's Brilliant Beautiful Brain, or something else? Post below and let me know how you feel about it. It's just really a curiosity. So on this video today, we're going to be talking about, as you guessed, brain fog. We're going to talk about how it can show up in your life. And I want you to know that this training is super important, because brain fog is something that your physician, your regular traditional medicine physician, he can't give you advice for. Many traditional medical physicians will tell you that this is just what happens when you get old. They don't mean to lie to you, but they really just don't know. The truth is that brain fog can be the beginning stages of dementia. It can be the result of a brain injury, or just your body's reaction to food, toxins, medications, or stress, some that can be removed from your life, or those that you can avoid by using appropriate precautions. Brain fog affects so much of your productivity, and that affects your confidence. And it also affects how people around you see you, both people in your personal and professional life. They begin not to trust you or trust your judgment. You know what I mean? Those 30-somethings who make smart-ass comments about they think are funny, but you don't think that they're funny. They want to joke about your forgetfulness, but you don't. You might smile or you might laugh, but it hurts, because it really is scary to think about what you will become. Can you see why we really need to get this under control now before it gets worse? So in this video, I will provide some of the causes and some of the solutions. And also, do not forget that at the end of this video, I am going to state a question about the story, and one winner will win a prize. So make sure you pay close attention. All right, so how to get mental clarity. Let me introduce you to my friend Bev. Beverly Watson. She is a nurse at a very busy metropolitan hospital near Detroit, Michigan. She is a nurse in the emergency room. And Bev is a very bright, outgoing, friendly, dedicated person. And she was having some problems just making decisions. She was frequently forgetting things. You know, she really loves her job, and she could not imagine not doing it. But she just became so distraught and so frustrated, because no matter what she tried, just nothing seemed to work. Nothing seemed to help her get her memory. She was feeling so helpless, because this condition, it had the possibility to compromise her patience, and also compromise her job, and also made for problems, of course, at home. You see, at home, tensions were also growing because of her inability to make simple decisions, and she was constantly losing things like her car keys, and she was missing appointments, and overdrawing on the household budget. So things really just had to change. So Beverly reached out for help. And what she was advised to do was she started journaling every night, and she started eating less sugar. She noticed that she began to sleep better, and several people on her job noticed a big improvement in her memory, and she felt much more secure on the job, and actually more secure overall. You see, sometime later, her husband also noticed that she was no longer walking into the room and forgetting why she was there, right? She used to do that so much before. So changes were becoming obvious. So here's how to get mental clarity. This picture here is a representation of a happy, healthy brain. Your brain requires 4 things in order to be happy and healthy. One of the things is oxygen. And how do you get oxygen? Well, you exercise. It increases circulation, and you get more oxygen to the brain. The second thing you need is a consistent level of glucose, and you do that by eating carbohydrates. But you don't want to eat too many, and you don't want to have too little. So it's sort of like the Goldilocks effect. You want just right. The third thing is stimulation. Now, learning new things is a great way to increase stimulation in the brain. This creates opportunities for the brain to grow and develop new pathways and new neurons, and just a fantastic way for it to grow. And the fourth thing is you want to reduce inflammation. This means just keeping the brain safe from toxins that we breathe in, toxic thoughts, keep away from toxic people, and you want to protect the brain from injuries. So here's a simple way to get mental clarity. Step 1, you want to eat lots and lots of healthy fats. Healthy fats include fats that come from avocados, sesame oil, nuts, and oily fish like sardines, mackerel, and salmon. You know, fats are required in our diet for the utilization of vitamins and minerals that are used by the brain. The other thing you want to avoid all junk food, foods that are high in sugar, salt, and highly processed foods. These foods frequently contain on the label something like reduced or low fat. You don't want to eat those foods. Remember, the more processing done to the food, the less nutritional value it has. So, the simple way to get mental clarity, these things work. And why? Because fats, my God, your brain loves fats. Your brain needs fats. Your brain is about 60% fat. For people with mild memory loss, a fat called ketones is a major energy source for them. It's a much better energy source for them than carbohydrates are. It helps them to restore their memory function better than carbs does. For these people, using carbs instead of ketones is like using regular gas in your car instead of using premium gasoline. In your car, you're disappointed when you have that low acceleration or hesitation in your acceleration, and then you have that engine knock. But as for your brain, well, with glucose, you don't remember where you put your car keys, but you don't care because you're just not motivated. You just don't feel like doing anything. But with ketones, not only do you not forget where your car keys, you remember where you put them, and you know why you put them there and when you put them there. And as for motivation, well, you're just ready to go. It's just a better source of energy. Another thing about fats is that fat helps to curb your cravings much better than carbohydrates do, because it provides energy longer so that you don't have to eat as much, so you don't have to eat as often. So it is a much more efficient way of producing energy. And junk food, just stay away from it. It's empty calories. Junk food is made to fill you up so that you don't get hungry, then to taste good and to be inexpensive so that you eat it more often. It has plenty of flavor and it has a lot of sugar, a lot of salt, a lot of fats. It's not made for nutrition at all, but it increases that unwanted belly fat. So junk food you might want to stay away from. And sugar, well, yeah. If you're trying to get rid of brain fog, you don't want to mess with sugar at all because it is associated with cognitive decline. And there's another thing that I didn't put here, but it is necessary to talk about, and that is water. And water is just like so easy to take for granted, but it is vital to nutrition. It really is. Many foods, especially fruits, they contain a lot of water. And water, it helps in the role of nearly every major body function. It regulates body temperature, it carries nutrients and oxygen by way of the cells in the bloodstream, and it helps carry away waste. Water also helps cushion the joints and protects our organs and tissues. So, step 3 is you want to establish a morning routine that includes meditation, exercise, and envisioning your day while affirming your power. Well, what I mean by that last phrase is that you just want to take some time out to think about your schedule for the day. Imagine that you are there in each different scenario of that day and envision yourself step by step how things progress. Assess what your anticipated actions will be and your responses to what's coming towards you. This will help you to be ready and to feel like you're in control. You're ready for each situation that you walk into. So this will increase your confidence, lower your stress, and increase your power. So these things work. Why? Well, meditation helps because it increases something called serotonin in the brain. It's a biochemical that gives you the sense of well-being. Exercise, it works because it increases your circulation throughout the body, including your brain. It also works because it creates something called dopamine, which is a biochemical that induces the sensation of pleasure. So get this. The more you exercise, the more dopamine you make. So the more dopamine you make, the more you like to exercise. So the more you exercise, the more you want to exercise, right? Try it. I think that's pretty cool. So all of these things together, well, they just really help to build confidence. Step 4 is you want to establish an evening routine, and this is to help you wind down. One thing you might want to do is something like journal about your day. You know, you want to take down all of the frustrations and aggravations that happen during the day and put them on paper so that they're on the paper and not on your head, in your head when your head hits the pillow. You want to also journal down the good things that happen as well. And in doing this, while you're writing those things down, you might want to look at the things that went wrong, the things that went right, and you might even come up with some solutions so that you can actually plan to follow up with some of those things and plan your next day. Another thing you might want to do to help relax you, to get you ready for wind down time, is to take a hot shower or a hot bath. This relaxes the mind, gives you time to relax the brain and the muscles, and also might soothe some little aches and pains you have as well. And another thing you want to do is not to eat within 3 hours before you go to sleep. Now, this is a good way to begin to start towards building metabolic flexibility in your body. It gives your body the chance to digest your food so that when you are asleep, your body can perform other restorative and maintenance functions that benefit your long-term overall health. Another thing that you might want to do is turn off the TV when you lay down to go to sleep. Having the TV on is disruptive in a couple of ways. First, the light and the sound from the TV, the way they affect your brain is that they don't allow you to get into that deep restorative state that you need to get into. That sleep that will help you to help your body get into that routine maintenance. It needs to be in that REM sleep that has the body fully relaxed. The other thing that having the television on does is it interferes with the messages that, or allows you to get messages into your brain that affect your way of thinking, causing you to have thoughts and to perform actions or acquire moods that you don't necessarily want. And you might wonder, well, where did that come from? So here's why these things work in your favor, is that they help you to organize your thoughts, and they also encourage sleep, and they also relieve stress. All of these things together work together so that you feel confident, healthy, and have a sense of well-being. So step 5, you might want to resolve unfinished business, evaluate this on a weekly basis. You also might want to continue to have a quiet time or prayer time or meditation daily, and it should be at least 15 minutes. And you might also want to do a crossword puzzle. So Sudoku or lessons, take lessons to learn a new language or an instrument. Be creative in some sort of way. And you want to do these things because these things relieve stress. They build the neural pathways in the brain so that your brain is growing and developing, and you feel more confident control. So there is one other thing that I also wanted to bring up, and this is called the gut-brain axis. And this is I just wanted to mention this because I want you to understand really the true value that diet has on brain function. Now, I'm sure that many times in your life you've had a gut feeling about something that it just caused you a lot of stress or anxiety about something, but you just couldn't put your finger on why you were feeling that way, because at sight everything just looks fine. There's like no problem, but something was gnawing at your gut and you just didn't pay attention. You know, it might have been like someone you hired to do a job for you, or maybe someone you dated, it just didn't seem right, or even an idea, you took a job because it all just looked so good, but something in your gut said, don't do it. But you did it anyway. And it was really messed up, right? It just didn't go right. So the lesson here is what? Listen to your gut, because the gut and the brain, there is a bi-directional communication there. The gut listens to the brain, and the brain listens to the gut. Hey, that's better than a lot of other relationships, right? Well, our gut and our brain, they're connected physically through millions of nerves. But there are 3 different connections between the brain and the gut. One is that neural network. The other is like the vagus nerve that goes directly from the gut to the brain. And then there is the enteric, a whole different nervous system, the enteric nervous system. So the brain does have a very, very strong connection to the gut. There is also another partner in this communication group, and it's called the gut microbiome. The microbiome is just the environment and the organisms, which are collectively called microbiota, that live in the gut. And they're made up of trillions of bacteria, fungi, yeast, bacteriophages, all kinds of microbes. And they, like the mitochondria, are inherited from your mother. So they're kind of, sort of related. They have a what you would call a common origin. As it turns out, the mitochondria and bacteria, they have a shared hereditary, and they are able to communicate with each other, sort of like a house cat and a lion. They're related, but very different. You know, one makes a really good pet, one does not, but they both purr. So in the microbiota, the microbes, the bacteria, they can tell the mitochondria in the brain to make more energy or less energy when needed. So since what you eat eventually goes to your gut, it's important that you eat the right food to support your gut so that your gut can support your brain. The good news here is that a healthy microbiome is made up of very diverse organisms. It continues to grow and change throughout our lives. So we always have control over what's going in there. We can control that. We can create it. Because it is so important, because it regulates roles in our health, like regulating pH, improving nutrient absorption, and inhibiting pathogen growth. And also feeding certain cells within our body. The bad news is that an imbalance of unhealthy to healthy microbes in the intestines, that's called dysbiosis. And it can contribute to things like weight gain, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and other disorders. The solution here? Well, we can control our microbiome by what we put in our stomachs. A fundamental action we can take to help our brain is to help our gut for mental clarity, energy, and more. When we eat foods rich in non-soluble proteins, we are feeding the microbiota, and they can digest these fibers that we cannot, to make compounds to help us sleep, have energy, mental clarity, and a whole lot more. So, how does this work for you? Well, if you have Crohn's disease or IBS, you can use these things to increase your health of the microbiome and strengthen the integrity walls of your GI tract. If you have diabetes or prediabetes, then you can use these things also to moderate your glucose levels. And if you are a healthy person, well, you can use these to gain and maintain mental clarity for work and for leisure. So this is the end of the training, and I hope you found this video to be informative and of value. I really just wanted to give you something that you can try to do in your own home on your own. These things, they can go a long way to helping you to remember things and be more certain and handle stress better, so that you can put less stress on your brain and get more sleep. These two things alone will help your memory and your overall health a tremendous amount. I also wanted for you to see that you are in control. And by getting the right information, you can have the memory of a 40-year-old well into your 90s. You know, if you just try these measures at home, and also work with your physician, a physician who can spend time. I mean, the way the system is set up, that they don't have a lot of time to spend with each patient. So preferably find a physician who is working with a health coach who can help you take the time with you that you need to get set up in a new regimen and to be coached on how to maintain a system that works for you. The goal here is to get you so that you can have and maintain a beautiful brain like Bev's. I also wanted to remind you right now about the contest. Remember, so the question for today is going to be, what are the 4 things the brain needs to be happy, healthy, and functioning? All right? They were right here in this video, so if you didn't get them, maybe you want to go back and get them. And by the way, tomorrow's video is coming, and it is called Bubba's Bubbling Belly. It's all about the disruption of the GI distress and how to overcome it. You know, I think it was Hippocrates who said, disease begins in the gut. So this is something that you really want to pay attention to and know about so that you can maintain good health lifelong. This is the goal, right? Oh, don't forget to check the feature section. That's what I want to do. Don't forget to check the featured section because in the featured section is going to be the post about what's going on in the group. You'll want to check it for tomorrow's video, Bubba's Bubbling Belly. And you also want to check it again later on because I will be responding to this video, any questions that you post below. So starting at 7 p.m. tonight, I will be back to talk about this video, and any questions or comments that you have to make, I will be back live. So you will be able to ask me anything about this video or about your situation having to do with mental clarity or energy, getting more energy. Whatever you like, we'll be able to discuss. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you are too. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.